Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Oops, I just remembered I forgot to light my candles. So let's do that now because I like to light white candles when we are in ceremony. And to me, my shows are a ceremony because we talk about what we can do to help heal ourselves and what we can create for ourselves. And it's always nice to have a nice white candle going. And I'm also inviting all the ascended masters. I'm inviting the grandmothers of the four directions. And I am inviting the archangels and the angelic realm. So today, I'm Jean of Divine Healing, also Jean Salch. And today's show is trust in yourself and learn to trust others. And we will be taking a short break about 10:29 so that I can log in and bring on the Blog Talk show listeners. Let's see. First, I'd like to also say I offer healings, private healings and group healings on YouTube. On over the phone, in person, and on Skype. And they're very profound. And I work in past, present, future all at the same time. And I also make the miracle healing water. And I have my water right here. And we will do the water and bless the water and go through a meditation for helping us learn to trust ourselves once we log on to Blog Talk. So some of the categories that I've written down that will cause us, and not every human being, but we're talking about the majority of humanity, that will cause them to have lack of self-trust and trust in others. So some of those causes are parents, siblings, friends, romantic relationships, our churches of religion, and TV. So I'm going to list some of them now. Well, let's first go over dysfunctional parents. And I'm not saying that every parent out there is dysfunctional, okay? We're talking about the ones that are. So some of the things that a dysfunctional parent may say to you that would cause you to have lack of self-trust and create and bring people into your world that you cannot trust would be some of these. A dysfunctional parent might say to you, "You will never be able to do this. You could be smarter, and you keep making dumb mistakes. Why do you keep making dumb mistakes?" Well, that's something that programs us into thinking and believing that we'll never be able to do whatever it is that our dreams and our hopes are because we keep making dumb mistakes. How do we know this? Because our parents keep telling us and reinforcing us. As an example, that was one thing that my parents did to me, and I was a straight A student when I was in school. And when I raised my 3 children, I always told them, you can be anything you want to be. You are smart. You are intelligent. You can trust yourself because you are smart and intelligent. All you have to do is choose what you would like to be and run with it with success. So I did the opposite. Another form of causing someone to have mistrust in themselves and create mistrusting people would be siblings. And why would a sibling want their other sibling, to have self-doubt and mistrust in themselves. Well, maybe they're jealous. Maybe they were the only child for many years and they don't want to share that attention with another sibling. Maybe it's a family that has many children in it, and the children have to fight with each other, with their parents, to get attention. Some of the things that a sibling might say to another sibling to cause them to have mistrust would be, not say, I mean actions, would be bullying, doing mean tricks and pranks on them, possibly doing scary things like jumping out of closets, or possibly even threatening each other, to cause yourself to have mistrust in yourself, which also creates bringing untrusting people into your life. Friends, okay? Friends could cause you to have mistrust in yourself in these ways. Let's say you're thinking of starting a new business. Let's just use that as an example. And you share it with a friend of yours who happens to have their own fears and insecurities. And immediately they respond and they tell you, oh, that's not a good idea. I wouldn't trust it, not the way the economy is going. Now, in that moment, if you allow it, you have allowed yourself to take on their fears of trusting, of expanding themselves in a possible career change or starting a business. Or maybe a friend may betray you in some way that would cause you to mistrust yourself. For an example, if you have a friend that you shared something in confidence with, and they go and they betray you by telling other people or putting you on the spot in a dysfunctional manner, kind of like dropping a bomb. I have a friend who likes to do that to me, and I'm learning to call her out on it, and I'm learning to blow it off. I will share something in confidence, and not that she will share what the confidence is, but she will drop the bomb such as, oh, do you know what Jean did today? Jean really upset me, okay? But that's how she leaves it, and she doesn't explain why. So that leaves the person that she's telling this to be in a state of wondering and guessing about me, and maybe she shouldn't trust me. So I don't know if that's a lesson for me to become stronger in my truth, or if that's jealousy. I have no idea, but I'm working through it, and I think it's getting better. So that is some of the things. Some friends, you'll lose your mistrust in yourself and with them because they're not being fully honest, or maybe you find out that they're talking behind your back, or maybe they know something really important that has happened that affects you, that they're holding back and they don't tell you until time later. I can share an example of that with you. For some reason, my children's father felt it was necessary to betray me by having affairs right after we got married. And we were together and married for 9 years. And all my friends who said they were my friends, said that nothing. They said nothing. Until we were my ex-husband and I were getting separated. At that point, they all came forward and said, Jean, he's been cheating on you since right after you got married. And I looked at all of them. And I'm still friends with these people. And I looked at them and said, if I'm really your friend, why didn't you tell me this? Now, at that point, I went into the space of, wow, I really cannot trust the people in my life who claim to be my friends. Because if they were really my friends, why wouldn't they have told me that, right? Anyway, let's move on. Let's take church and religion. Okay? Some religions out there will program you that you need to be baptized in order to wipe away your sins. Okay? Now, what I think about that is that we come in with karmic lessons and teachings, but I don't believe that we are born sinners. But that is a program that will make you distrust yourself on what kind of person you are. It will also cause self-doubt, and it will also, some religions will make you not trust your sexual preferences. How many people out there have discovered that they're gay, or they're a transgender, or and they go to their family, or they go to their religious ministers or priests or rabbis to talk to them about this, to get help, to help them understand. You know, here I am, I'm in a man's body, but I know I'm a woman, for example. Or I know I'm in a female body, and the mainstream says that I should be attracted and sexually attracted to men, but I'm not. I'm attracted to women because I feel more like a man. And these will cause people to mistrust themselves, and to also bring in people into their life that they might not feel, that will cause them to not trust them, such as friends saying, oh, you can't really be gay, or no, you can't really be a transgender. And like I said, I'm not beating on that subject. I'm just using as an example. Let's look at romantic relationships. There are romantic relationships out there that are dysfunctional, many of them. And what might a dysfunctional romantic relationship cause for you to not trust yourself, or to trust others, or even your romantic partner? Well, one party may have dysfunctional control issues, wanting to control everything about you, that could cause you to feel that you can't trust yourself to make your own decisions. Or even when it comes to house cleaning, there can be verbal abuse, put downs. You're not good enough. You don't look good enough. You're too fat. You can't dress yourself. Let me pick out your clothes for you. No, you don't want to take that job. You want to take this job. Okay? And that causes you to not trust what you're feeling on the inside that is good for you and makes you feel good. And then there's sexual abuse in a dysfunction relationship that will make you mistrust your feelings on what feels good intimately versus what feels not. A dysfunctional person who wants to control and make you mistrust yourself, as an example, might lay the guilt trip on you that, You are my husband, or you are my wife, or you are my partner, and you must have sexual relationships with me even if you're ill. Okay, that will cause you to mistrust yourself by not listening to your body and how you feel, by saying no and standing your ground. Then you have television, okay? Let's talk about commercials for a moment. How many TV commercials out there? Even Victoria's Secret, okay? I wonder why after all these years, Victoria's Secret does not make a line for full-figured women. There are more full-figured women out there than there are skinny, okay? So TV shows and commercials will cause you to mistrust yourself. There's commercials out there that say, ooh, are you feeling this or feeling that? Then perhaps you need this pill. Well, you know whether or not you need some type of medication by how you're feeling. You don't need a television commercial to tell you. That causes you to distrust yourself. Now, I do realize that the media and television has purposely worked over time to dumb humanity down around the world, to cause us to mistrust ourselves. So sometimes we will bring in experiences from other people that will cause us to mistrust ourselves. And those are lessons and teachings for us to stand strong in our trust. Let's see. Some of the ways that we can unprogram ourselves is we can sit in meditation every day for at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and you can bring on to the attention all your conscious levels, your conscious level, your subconscious level, and your unconscious level. Because our subconscious level of consciousness does about 97% of our manifestation, and that is where our blocks will originate and stick with in all our chakras, in our energy fields. So you want to, I am suggesting that you might want to sit in meditation and repeat a mantra such as, I can trust the decisions and choices I make. I trust the decisions and choices I make. I trust the decisions and choices I make because they are for my highest good. I no longer need to bring in untrustworthy people. I no longer need the experience of learning that I can trust myself. And if you do this over and over every day, you can reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, what will this programming benefit? Well, you'll step into more self-trust. You will not draw people into your life that will cause you to mistrust yourself or to have distrusting friends. You will create people that if an issue comes up, you can freely communicate it, and they will come from a place of pure intentions to resolve it so that you can both move forward in gratitude for the lesson and teaching and the growth between your relationships. Many people, especially with all these energies that have been occurring, have been sensing and knowing that it's time to move out of this job. It's time to move out of this relationship. It's time to change my circle of friends. And that's because they're seeing that there's certain things that they don't trust with it anymore because they are seeing the dysfunctions. With all the eclipses, the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipses that we had back in October 2014, and then in December of 2014, with a lot of gateways of love and peace opening up. There are many people around the world that are working with Mother Earth and the waters to awaken certain sacred places on the earth to help humanity. Myself, for example, when I was in the Keys with my friend Jason, visiting my friend Jason, together we went into meditations and we brainstormed together, how could we be more of service for humanity and assist with all these love energies so that people can trust themselves and be in more self-love. So we time traveled together to each chakra on Mother Earth, representing the chakras for Mother Earth personally. And we reopened and balanced not only that chakra, but also balanced the heart soul song in that chakra. And we did this for humanity because we want humanity to have trust in themselves, trust in your gifts. How many people now are coming into their gifts as a result? And they're having trouble trusting what they're hearing. Are they being manipulated? Well, according to my religion, this is evil. I've shared this with my family. I've shared this with my friends. They think I'm crazy. And that will cause you to start having mistrust with what you're hearing. So what you can do with that is you can take a nice big breath, and you can call your power back and say, no, I'm going to trust myself because what I am hearing sounds of love. It sounds of light. It sounds of the highest good. It does not feel like a manipulation. It does not feel dark and distorted. So I am going to trust myself. I have gotten lots of teachings and blessings and lessons myself this week, where I had someone that I very highly regard and respect question me about who I was channeling and the water, the healing water that I make. And initially, I allowed her to take me to that place of questioning myself, not who I'm channeling and not the water, but questioning myself as, how am I presenting myself out there? And that in that moment, I allowed myself to not trust myself in my presentations when I'm out in the world. So I had to go home and I had to really think about this. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, Jean. You trust who you're channeling. You know you're channeling the divine. You trust that the water that you're making is miracle healing water because of all of the positive effects that you get from people all around the world, whether I do it in person or whether I do it over the phone or over the computer, or like we're going to do in a few minutes here. And in about 4 minutes, we'll be taking a short break while I call into Blog Talk. And so I reminded myself of these things, which brought me back to a place of self-empowerment and self-trust, because I have learned to trust myself. About 20, 21 years ago, I got on a healer's table, which I do every once in a while still. And I asked this healer, how can I learn to trust others? And he said, Jean, once you learn to fully trust yourself, you will know who you can trust. And that was a very profound experience for me as a turning point in my life, because I went home and I sat with that and said, I am going to work overtime at self-trust. And that was when I sat down and I went into meditation every day. And of course, what came up for me was my family programming from my parents, my programming from my one sibling, my programming from the father of my children, who would say to me before we would go out for a social event, oh, Jean, now when we walk into this party or event, just say hello, but don't say anything else, because nobody wants to hear what you have to say because you're too dumb. I have learned that I am a very intelligent person, and I've had people tell me, wow, you're really intelligent. And in that moment, it kind of surprises me that could they have doubted that? I don't know. A few years back, when I did my first brochure, I sent it to a friend who I have gone to several trips to Peru with for spiritual work with the shamans. And I gave it to her to read because I wanted feedback before I had them physically printed up and put out. So she was shocked. And she said, wow, Jean, you wrote this up? And I said, yeah, I can write when I want to. And it, in that moment, caused me to feel, wow, she must really think I'm a stupid person. But that's okay, because that lesson in that moment showed me, see, I can trust myself and I can trust what I'm writing, because here this person has her master's degree as a teacher and I only have a little bit of college classes under me. And I didn't not finish college because of not trusting myself. I didn't finish college because it was too hard for me to balance being a full-time parent, working at the same time, and raising 3 children all on my own. One thing had to go, so I gave up the school because my children were more important. So anyway, we're going to take a short break now. And while we connect with Blog Talk, and please get your water ready, because we will be blessing the water, and then we'll be going right into a meditation to release the fears of self-trust. And for anybody who's listening live by video, the guest call-in number at Blog Talk is 347-989-8446. Thank you. And I'll be right back. So if you have to get your water, go get it now. And thank you for joining us, Blog Talk listeners. We are also live on Google Plus and YouTube, and we're talking about trust in yourself and learn to trust others. So if you could please get your water ready for those who would like to have their water cleansed and blessed, and we will begin. While you're getting your water, we have been talking about many ways how you could come to a place of not trusting yourself and not trusting others. And that list that we went over is dysfunctional parents, siblings, friends, churches and religion, romantic relationships, and television shows. We will be taking calls in a few minutes, and the call-in number is 347-989-8446. So some of the things that we're going to release today has to do with family program, sibling program, church, religion, commercials that cause us to mistrust ourselves and create and bring people into our lives that do not trust us, that we can't trust, Parents, some dysfunctional parents may have said, oh, you'll never be able to do that. You'll never amount to anything. You could be smarter. Siblings, okay, may cause you to have mistrust by bullying you, maybe threatening you, scaring you by jumping out of closets, playing mean tricks, saying mean words to you, putting you down. Friends may, that cause you to mistrust yourself, may cause you to mistrust and doubt your dreams and your manifestations, or even the choices that you want to make in your life. Churches and religions might cause you to mistrust yourself by claiming that you're a sinner at birth, or by making you self-doubt your sexual preference. And I use that as an example because it's a very big problem in the world today. So many people who are gay or transgenders struggle every day with trusting what they feel and they sense inside, especially when they have family and friends and religions who are telling them that they're wrong, that they need to be exorcised, like through an exorcism or something. Then you have the television commercials that suggest that you need to be a certain weight, or you need to take this pill for your body image that makes you, could cause you self-doubt with lack of self-trust in how you feel about your body image. Okay, romantic relationships. We're talking about the dysfunctional ones. Well, they may try to control you to a point where you don't trust yourself. Maybe with verbal abuse, mental manipulation, and sexual abuse. And before we go into the water, I'll just give one fast example, which I just gave. The children of my father, the father of my children, when we were married and we were going out to an event or to someone's house for a dinner party, before we left the house, he would say to me, now when we arrive, don't really do any talking, keep yourself silent, say hello, because everything that comes out of your mouth is stupid and nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Okay, my parents would say personally to me, oh, you're too dumb for that, or no, you're not smart enough for that, or Oh, I can't even believe you have friends, which caused me to mistrust myself as a human being. From the time I was a little girl, I didn't trust myself at all. So I brought lots of people into my life that taught me this lesson. And boy, do I really trust myself now, and fully and completely. And I do not let anyone's words sway me. So let's do the water. And I have mine right here. So I'm going to place my hands over the water, which will also be placing my hands over your water. And if you have a bottle of water, please take the cap off. And we are turning on the healing gifts abilities, and we are tapping in for the divine to flow through. Purifying the water, filling the water with cells with God Creator, higher supreme cells. Infusing the cells of the water with Christ conscious cells. And infusing the cells of the water with blessings. And you may drink it. So now know that as you drink this water, you will feel the effects anywhere between 0 and 5 minutes. So here's the call-in number again for Blog Talk, 347-989-8446, and we love call-ins. So let's do a brief meditation now, releasing fears of lack of self-trust. Take a nice big breath, and as you exhale, allow all your thinking thoughts to just float outside your thinking mind for just a few minutes. We're going to go through the 7 main chakras. In your next breath, let's breathe in divine, sacred, holy fire, and exhale into your root chakra, and allow all self-doubts and fears to release. Breathe in that divine, sacred fire. Exhale into your root chakra. Letting go and surrendering all fears of mistrust. Breathe in the divine, sacred platinum fire, and exhale into your sacral. As you exhale, releasing all fears of lack of self-trust. Breathe in the divine, sacred platinum fire, and exhale into your navel so that you can release all family programming that causes you to have lack of self-trust and trusting others. Breathe in the divine, sacred platinum fire, and exhale into your solar plexus and release those lacks of self-trust. Breathe in the divine, sacred platinum fire, and exhale into your solar plexus. Releasing and surrendering. Breathe in the divine, sacred platinum fire, And exhale deep within your heart and release those fears of lack of self-trust. Breathe in the platinum fire and exhale into your throat chakra and release all those lacks of doubt of self-trust. Breathe in divine sacred platinum fire and exhale into the center of your head, clearing your third eye. Surrendering into self-trust. Breathe in the divine sacred platinum fire and exhale into your crown chakra. Now, this is an exercise that you can do yourself every day to help you let go of the blocks and resistances that hold you into lack of self-trust. And the more you have self-trust, the more you will see the truth in others. And the more you will be able to either call them on it, set your boundaries tighter, or walk away. Some other tools that you can do is like what I mentioned earlier. You can sit in meditation for 15 to 20 minutes to 30 minutes every day and program your subconscious mind, which does 97% of your manifesting. So if consciously you've come from a life in this lifetime or past lifetimes where you have lack of self-trust, and you create people in your life that you cannot trust, then you are here to learn that lesson also of self-trust, because you've had this experience of lack of self-trust in other lifetimes, or else you would not have set it up in this lifetime. You can program yourself on subconsciously. So what I was saying was, so consciously, you know, you can trust yourself, okay? But maybe subconsciously you don't trust yourself, and you're still having people come into your life that you cannot trust. So by programming your subconscious mind through various tools, you will strengthen your self-trust. Now, let me just remind you, for every one negative of lack of self-trust that you have consciously heard or have spoken yourself, such as the words, "I cannot trust myself," for every one negative, it takes 5,000 positives to erase. So that's why I emphasize reprogramming your subconscious mind to fully know that you can trust yourself. Because once you get to that point, you're going to pay attention to your inner guidance, your divine God self, your guardian angel, and the divine realms, because all the answers are inside you. Your higher self, your God self, knows what's best for you, so you can trust them. Then, of course, breathe in your power. Fill all your chakras with all your power. And that will also help you trust yourself. And then breathe in your I am presence. Let's give that call-in number one more time. Area code 347-989-8255. 8446. If you would like to call in and maybe share something about, your struggles with self-trust, or maybe if you're looking for some helpful insight that might help you with something that you're on the fence about with self-trusting yourself, please call in. We love callers. And I'm just going to take a quick sip of my water. Yes, my water helps me too, and I love making this water. There are many healing modalities that I do when I'm doing a healing session on one-on-one, or in a couple for couples, or in a group setting. And I do Corona Reiki, which is using chants. I am a multidimensional healer that brings in a lot of tools: magnifying healing, shamanic healing. So doing a personal healing with me, you may have moments of silence, moments that I ask you to breathe, moments that I might ring my bell or play my drum on you. And while I was in meditation with Jesus last night, Jesus told me to offer this. So when I'm doing a healing now with someone over the phone, I'm going to be making 3 offers. Because we're over the phone, I can't really see you, okay? But I do plug in with you as a healer so that I can monitor what you're releasing and how you're doing. So the 3 offers would be this. If we're over the phone, you could sit in a comfortable position. B, you could lay down on your bed or on the couch. Or C, Jesus has asked me to suggest this, you can get in the bathtub. Now, water is very healing and purifying. And if you notice, if you're a beach person and you go into the ocean, you'll notice that you always feel better when you've spent a day in the ocean. You may feel tired because water is grounding and salt water is cleansing, and you always receive a cleansing when you're in salt water, whether it be the ocean or in a bathtub. So know that salt water is very healing. So Jesus has asked me to make that offer. And if someone wanted to do that, they would not have to worry about feeling embarrassed because I would not see them. Now, if they were choosing to Skype with me and they wanted to get in the tub, then I would recommend a bathing suit. Or a pair of shorts and a shirt. Or if they wanted, they could get a small tub, a small basin, and they can take their socks and shoes off and they could put their feet in water, which I think will be a really great thing for me to suggest. Thank you to my spirit guides who is suggesting that too. You don't have to get in the tub. You can put your feet in a bucket of water. Warm water, of course, because I wouldn't want your feet to be cold. So we have about 9 more minutes of the show left. If anybody would like to call in, area code 347-989-8446. For anyone who is listening, I would love some of your feedback and your examples and experiences with mistrust or lack of self-trust. I know some people out there in the world who have been married for a long time, where they've had children together, and they're coming into a place of waking up into their gifts, and they're seeing more truth in themselves and in others and in their relationship. And we're just going to choose this for a moment. And they are noticing that, wow, my partner really is more dysfunctional than I thought. Wow, my partner really doesn't move forward or want me to move forward. So these people right now are struggling because we have a caller, and we're going to bring that caller on. Oops. Welcome, area code 719. You're on the air.
Hello, Jean.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I was just calling. I finally got to see your show, and I love it. I love the meditation. I'm really glad that you waited to do the water cleansing halfway through because I was a few minutes late. I was kind of just calling in to. I really like what you're speaking about today. How you have to trust yourself in order to trust others.
Yes.
How do you get? Would you say meditation would be the best way to get yourself to trust yourself?
Yes, I would say meditation to program your subconscious that you can trust yourself, but you will have to release fears. So I suggest either doing personal healings with me or another healer, or going on YouTube or reading books that will help you in healing. Because there is a fear base under the lack of self-trust.
Yeah. Well, I do my breathing exercises and stuff of that nature. I'm not going to lie, I've wandered away from it in the recent days, but more so than anything, I just want to get myself back to trusting myself, because I felt like I did at one time in my life, and now I feel like just because there's so many, you go through different stages in your life and you deal with different things, and because I've never dealt with a lot of the things that I am dealing with now, I don't want to say it helps me not trust myself, but it makes me not want to go with my gut. I overthink things sometimes more than I used to, and I don't know how to overcome that.
I understand, and I have walked in those shoes. If you would like, you could set up a personal healing session with me, and we can work that through, and we can get rid of that. And then you can start on your own process of structure on attaining this fully every day. But that is completely up to you, and there is never any pressure on my end.
No, I would love that. I've never you've done a healing on me in person. It's Jackie, but I've never done a healing with you over the phone, so I don't know. I don't know where to begin.
Well, Jackie, thank you for giving me your name.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetie, now I know who I'm talking to. Well, excuse me. It would be exactly the same as in person. The only difference is that I'm not physically in front of you. I've had many healings that I've done over the phone with people, and they have great success. So,
See, that would be something. We should make a date to definitely do that.
Yes.
Because I've been trying to get back to being me, but it feels like, because of, the recent changes I've been through, not that I don't feel like me, but I feel like a different person. Like I've come into a different chapter of my life. And you would think that would make me trust in myself more, but it makes me overthink things and almost doubt myself more.
Yes, because you are growing in all ways, in all forms, and what you're growing into right now consciously is unknown, right?
Yeah.
Because you're unknown,
Yeah, exactly.
you're not really sure of how things will unfold, or what will you look like being perceived by other people, and the changes that you may or may not want to make with your life. I get that. If you want to write me privately or contact me privately, we can set this up.
That would be awesome. Actually, I was going to write you anyways after your show, but since nobody had called in, I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity.
Well, I'm really glad you did. And I want you to know that I start the video live show at 10 o'clock. And the reason why I wait until Blog Talk comes on is so that everybody gets to do the water.
Oh, okay.
So please know that I do the water blessings probably maybe 10:33 or 4, so you won't miss it if you're ever running late. And then that's when I go into the brief meditations, because I want to make sure that.
No, I think that's perfect, actually. Because I woke up at exactly, like, right on time when it started this morning, and I had to get on there and get it all set up and everything. And at first I thought I had missed it, because it was about 10 or 15 minutes into the show. But it made me very thankful, because I had 2 bottles of water this morning.
Oh, awesome. Jackie, I have to let you go because I need to wrap up the show.
Okay, love you lots. I'll talk to you soon.
I love you lots too. Thank you so much for calling in. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Oops, I hung up. So anyway, you can reach
60 seconds.
You can reach me at www.geneofdivinehealing.com, and you can reach me on Facebook. I'm here every Thursday, 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Times. I do healings by Skype, by phone, and in person. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. I am so grateful. And I look forward to you all being here with me again, and new people coming and being here with us next week. So many blessings. Remember, breathe in your power. Remember, you are divine and sacred, and you are love. Never forget that.
10 seconds.
God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.